this video, I will be discussing one topic from the subject analog circuits with subject code KEC 402. The topic that I am going to discuss is frequency response and feedback amplifiers. So frequency response of circuits that includes the effect of capacitance, that includes the capacitive effects. So here we will be seeing the frequency response of MOS circuits, common source amplifier. So in that, the MOS internal capacitances will be included. That will include gate capacitive effect and junction capacitance of the MOS transistor. As we have seen with the previous discussion, the internal capacitances of the MOS devices. MOS is a 4-terminal device, and there is a capacitance associated between the different terminals of the MOS transistor. So the capacitances that play roles in the frequency response depending upon the magnitude of the capacitance between the nodes. So first term that we use is unity gain frequency, or we also call it as transition frequency. It is the frequency at which the short circuit current gain of common source configuration is unity. So this figure that is shown here is a small signal model of common source amplifier. The voltage here that is VGS between the gate and source, and the capacitance here represented, that is CGS, as the capacitive effect shown between the gate and the source terminal of the device. As here we are discussing about the short circuit current gain. So input side we have a current source, output is short circuited, and the current flowing through the output terminal is termed here as I0. The capacitance CGD that appears between the gate to drain terminal of the MOS devices. Some other capacitance that we discussed with the capacitance model of MOS transistor that have been neglected here due to their very small effect on this frequency response, and that simplifies the frequency analysis of this common source amplifier circuit. Here the physical parameter, that is, we write as j omega, and we can analyze this circuit by writing the KVL KCL equation in this circuit, and we can calculate different parameters related to this circuit that will define its unity gain frequency. This figure is showing the frequency response of common source amplifier. On x-axis, frequency is plotted in hertz. On y-axis, we have gain. Gain, that is V out upon V signal. V signal is the signal voltage that we apply at the input side. VO is the output voltage that appears at the output of this amplifier. So here with this frequency response, we can see there are different regions and the frequencies mentioned FL and FH. FL is lower cutoff frequency, FH is higher cutoff frequency, and between these two frequencies there is a range of frequency between FL and FH, during which the gain of this amplifier is constant, and here this range is we name as mid-band frequency range. Before this FL value, that is lower frequency range, that band is low frequency band, and beyond this FH, that is higher cutoff frequency, the frequency band is high frequency band. Here with this frequency response, we can see that initially the gain is less and it gradually increases, and between the FH and FL range the gain is constant, and beyond the higher cutoff frequency the gain again starts falling. So this fall in the gain is due to the effect of different capacitances, that is capacitive effect of the MOS transistor that plays role due to which the gain falls off. So with the circuit, we have seen that at the input side and the output side of the circuits we have coupling capacitors. We have coupling capacitors and bypass capacitors in any circuit for bypass capacitor that we use to improve the gain, and coupling capacitor to couple the input to the device and its output to another output or the stage where we are measuring the output. So here the CC1, CC2 and CS. CC1 and CC2 are the same coupling capacitor that I discussed with the common source amplifier. CS is the capacitance that is connected across the source of source resistance of this common source amplifier. So at the initial stage, when the frequency is less than the lower cutoff frequency, the gain is falling due to the effect of these three capacitances, and in the mid-band range where we neglect all the capacitances for that range, in that the gain of this amplifier is constant. And for the higher frequency ranges, the gain falls off due to the internal capacitive effect of the MOSFET. So high frequency response of common source amplifier, the same circuit is there. Here this RD is the drain resistance, RL is load resistance, and the blue one that is enclosed in this blue box is the small signal of MOS transistor for high frequencies. For high frequencies, these two capacitances are included for the high frequency analysis. R signal is the resistance associated with this V signal input voltage. RG is the gate resistance. And now here we have a capacitance connected between the gate and drain terminal. So here the output is connected to the input side. Normally what we want some input applied, and we do not want any connection between the input and output. The output should be separately measured without having any connection with the input. So to separate that circuit, here the circuit can be divided into two parts from this point, and we can separate it by applying theorem, and using that we can calculate equivalent capacitance, and the circuit can be divided into two separate parts. So we can replace CGD, that is gate to drain capacitance, by its equivalent capacitance, that is C equivalent, between the gate and the ground, as long as the C equivalent draws the current that is equal to the current that was initially being drawn by the through the capacitance CGD. So here the circuit is divided into two parts, and equivalent resistance we can write as CGD 1 plus GM RL dash, and V out that we get is minus GM RL dash multiplied by VGS. Similarly, this VGS, V signal that was connected at the input side, so here it will be multiplied by the gate resistance and the sum divided by the sum of gate resistance and the signal resistance. Low frequency analysis, low frequency response of common source amplifier. Here this capacitance CC1 and CC2, these two are the coupling capacitances, and CS is the capacitance that is connected as the source terminal. So if we look from here, the resistance that we get is 1 upon GM, and we can write VG voltage, that is the gate voltage, as V signal RG upon RG plus 1 upon S CC1, that is the capacitance that is connected at the input side, plus the signal resistance. VG can further be written in simplified manner as V signal RG upon RG plus R signal S upon S plus 1 upon CC1 multiplied by RG plus R signal. Omega naught 1 upon CC1 RG plus R signal, and the drain current that is from the formula V is equal to IR, we can write I is equal to V by R, and that sum of resistances, that is 1 upon GM plus 1 upon SCS. Simplifying this expression, we can write the drain current as GM VGS S upon S plus GM CS. So the second frequency, that is GM upon CS. I naught, that is your output current, is in the opposite direction, so it can be written as minus ID RD upon RD plus 1 upon SC2 plus the load resistance. Output voltage, that is V is equal to IR, can be written as I naught into RL. So I naught we have calculated here, so multiplying this complete term by the resistance RL. So the third frequency we can write as 1 upon CC2 RD plus RL. So V out upon V signal, we get in this term AM is the mid-band gain of this amplifier. We have different amplifier circuits. The classification here, we have 4 amplifiers, that is voltage amplifier, current amplifier, transconductance amplifier and transresistance amplifier. So these are the 4 categories of the amplifier circuits. The first one, that is voltage amplifier. Voltage amplifier, as the name suggests, it amplifies the voltage signal that is applied at the input side, and its amplified version at the output we are getting. So the circuit diagram of this voltage amplifier here, as we are going to amplify the voltage, so input side we are having a voltage source, that is Vs, and its series resistance Rs. Input is represented by Ri. Ri is having very larger value than the source resistance. At the output side, we have load resistance and the output voltage. This output voltage will be the amplified level of the voltage that we have applied at the input side. The output resistance R naught is having very less value as compared to the load resistance. This here we have a voltage dependent voltage source with a gain of AV, that is the voltage gain. So with this kind of circuit, we provide input as voltage, and at the output we are going to get voltage amplified value of the voltage at the output. So if R input is greater than Rs, then V in is nearly equal to V source, and if R naught is less than RL, then V out is AV into Vi, and that is AV into Vs. So we can say that the gain, voltage gain, that is V out upon V in with RL tending to infinite. So if the load resistance is infinite, so we have the gain, that is the ratio of output voltage to the input voltage. So it represents the open loop voltage gain. Next is your current amplifier. Current amplifier that takes input as current and amplifies it, and at the output it provides current. So as here we are going to amplify the current, so input side we need a current source. So here the input current that is applied here is Is, that is the source current. And as we know, with the current source, we have the source resistance in parallel to that. So source resistance is connected here in parallel. Input resistance Ri, and here the input resistance will have a value very less than that of the source resistance. At the output side, we have load resistance and the output resistance Ro and a current dependent current source. So this is representing circuit of a current amplifier. So with this current amplifier, if the input is less than the source resistance, then we can say I input is nearly equal to I source. and if the output is very greater than the load resistance, then I naught we can write as AI multiplied by II, that is gain multiplied by the current. So we can say that the gain, that is the current gain, is I naught divided by the input current II, with the condition that the load resistance here is 0. So it represents the short circuit current gain. The third one is the transconductance amplifier. Transconductance, here we have the input as voltage and the output that we are getting is your current. So this type of amplifier is named as the transconductance amplifier. So circuit here we have is source at the input side, and that source will be your voltage source, because here we are going to provide voltage at the input side and the output we will be measuring the current. So at the input we have voltage source. As here we have the voltage source, so its resistance will be connected in series to this source. So that resistance here is connected as RS, that is source resistance. RI here is representing input resistance, with the condition that Ri is having a very larger value as compared to the source resistance. If we see the output loop, output network, here we have the load resistance, the resistance RO, that is output resistance, and a voltage dependent current source. So here this GMVI is a voltage dependent current source. So here at the input side, when we provide the voltage at the input side, so through with this circuit at the output we are measuring current, and that is why this is named as the transconductance amplifier. So if the input resistance, this is the same condition that we have taken, that input resistance value should be much higher than the source resistance, then the input voltage will be nearly equal to the source voltage, and the output voltage, if it is taken as having the much larger value than the load resistance, then we can say that the output current can be written as GMVI or GMVS from this equation, because VI is equal to Vs. So we can say that this gain, transconductance gain of this amplifier is I naught upon V naught, with load resistance taken as 0. So this is representing the short circuit mutual or transfer conductance for this transconductance amplifier. The fourth one is the trans resistance amplifier, in which the input that we will be providing is current and output that will be measured is voltage. And for the input that we are providing here, it is represented by a current source Is, and with the basic concept, the resistance, source resistance will be connected in parallel to this source current, and here we have input resistance. So here the condition, that is Ri is very less than the source resistance. If we see the output side, the output voltage we are measuring across the load resistance RL. The resistance R0 is connected in series, because here we are having a voltage source. This voltage source is a current dependent voltage source, and the output side, the condition between the resistance is that the output resistance is having a very less value than the load resistance. So with this trans resistance amplifier, taking the condition of resistance from the input side and the output side, if input resistance is very less than the source resistance, then we can say that the input current II is nearly equal to Is. And if RO is less than RL, then we can write that output voltage will be nearly equal to Rm multiplied by the input current. From this equation, we can say that I input is equal to I source. So we can further write V out as Rm multiplied by I source. So from here, we can write that Rm is equal to V naught upon I suffix I, with the condition when load resistance is equal to infinite. So this represents the open circuit mutual or transfer resistance. So these were the 4 amplifier circuits that we can design to get different parameters at the output in the amplified form. Now the amplifier circuit that we discussed is without feedback. Now if we connect a feedback to these amplifier circuit, that is the concept of feedback. So here one example is taken. The first one, that a tap is there. When it is open, it is filling up this tank, and here we have a ball that is hanging from a hinge. So what happens, due to the pressure of this water, this ball floats and it goes up, that closes the knob of the tap. So in that way, using the feedback, we can improve the performance of system. So we have 2 types of feedback, negative feedback and positive feedback. Negative feedback is the most common used form of the feedback that we use with the amplifier circuit. The positive feedback that we use is generally with the oscillator circuits. So feedback is a technique where a portion of the output of system amplifier is fed back and recombined with the input. Here we have this amplifier A that is without feedback, and some portion of output is being fed to the input with the gain of beta. So the 2 feedbacks, we have positive feedback that is adding to the input, and negative feedback that gets subtracted from the input side. So for the amplifier circuit, we use negative feedback. There are several advantages of using negative feedback, that it reduces the distortion, it reduces noise, it increases gain stability of the amplifier circuit. So this was all about the feedback and the frequency response. Thank you.